Greetings and welcome to the Halloween edition of the Sliders Review. And I'm here today to talk to you about The Walking Dead Season 2, Episode 13, the season finale, Besides the Dying Fire. I don't like that title. The title's stupid. So, I haven't talked about The Walking Dead in like a very long time. And in fact, I've never really reviewed the original series, even though I love it to death, or at least I used to before season 7. I didn't really like season 7 and onward, but I do like the last season. And so it's kind of weird because I do love this season. Like season 2 is my all-time favorite. Season 2, a lot of people don't like. They say it was too drawn out and all this other. I don't care. I like the small cast. I like the closeness. I like the character development. The character development is what really sells it, you know what I'm saying? The whole Sophia plot broke my heart and everything. I like season 2. I need to talk about this one day. Now, I have reviewed season 1 episode 1 and season 2 episode 1 when I reviewed season 1 premieres of both season 1 and 2 of Fear the Walking Dead. I decided just to combine those because I don't like Fear the Walking Dead, and I think The Walking Dead was superior. So I'm all like, I don't understand how their premiere episodes suck. And so then I decided to review The Walking Dead season 1 episodes, the season 1 episode and season 2 episode 1, or whatever you call it. And so yeah, so let's go find those videos and stuff. But other than that, I never talked about none of the older Walking Dead episodes. I've only talked about the last season. And so this is actually my all-time favorite episode. It was suspenseful. There was fear. There are tons of zombies in this episode, which is what The Walking Dead should be. I don't understand how in future seasons there are no zombies and stuff. Now, watching this episode on my new TV is kind of jarring because on my old TV, it was darker setting and it was older TV. Now, because all these HD smart TVs are so bright, it takes the fun out of watching horror stuff at night. There's always a bright light somewhere. Or at least there's a light shining on my wall and it gets on my nerves. It's just not the same no more. So anyway. But this episode is very good. I love it to death. A zombie show is supposed to have zombies, and what are you supposed to do? Kill them. And this episode does it a lot for the first 17 minutes. After that, we get some nice discussion. We get a lot of dialogue, but it's never boring. It's always upbeat, and it keeps you in the mood. And there is one thing that did happen in this episode that I still think is kind of weird. I'll get to that a little bit later. But for the most part, this episode piggybacks off the last episode when Shane took Randall out into the woods. He lured Rick out there to kill Rick. Rick killed him. And then Carl had to put him down with a bullet in his head. And so Daryl and Glenn, they go searching for Randall and Shane, and they find Randall, but Randall has been zombified, but he was never bit. This confuses them. It's weird watching this episode. I almost felt numb watching it because how good it was and how terrible the later seasons were. And it's just kind of how in the world did they go from pure perfection to crap? You know what I'm saying? I don't understand that. And not only that, but it was so weird watching this episode because there's only 3 people in this episode that are still alive in the newer seasons. Everybody else has died except for Rick, who is just missing. And it's weird seeing the original cast. This was my favorite cast. I don't like a lot of new people. And it's just weird watching this. They're all gone. It's like watching a ghost show or something. And this was truly the best cast. And it just sucks. They're all gone. Also, the guy who plays Herschel, in real life, he sadly passed away a few years ago. May he rest in peace. Also, watching these older seasons, it just pisses me off at how good they were and how much I miss the cast. Like, I'm tired of them fighting humans and everything. I want them to fight zombies. I want them to be scared of zombies. But nobody's ever scared no more. They just run to them like a football linebacker and stuff. But in a way, it starts off with a herd of zombies. They're in the city. The city's pretty clean, but it's empty. And they're eating people. This is back when they used to use barbecue sauce and vinegar and stuff like that. And you know, the blood texture had different color in the flesh and stuff like that. But I forget what happened. It like dissolved in makeup or something, so they had to use something different. And I think they used to use barbecue sauce at first, but then it messed up, and now they use like vinegar and something else. It's one of those two. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I listened to the commentary. And so this was actually a scene from season 1, but they never used it. So they decided to use it in the finale. Then you see a helicopter flying above, and it lures a bunch of zombies. They follow the helicopter out into like the open field and into the woods. And it leads them near Herschel's farm when they're in the woods. Now, one of the zombies is dressed as like a doctor. The Robert Kurtzman man said he hates that and wish he would have taken it out. He doesn't want people dressed in like their work clothes because it's distracting. And to tell you the truth, it really is. When you see a bunch of people in regular clothes, but then you see him in his brightly colored like uniform. And so like, and not to mention, not only the newest seasons of The Walking Dead suck, but all the spin-offs suck too. I don't understand that. Anyway, so they hear the gunshot from Carl, and it lures them to Carl and Rick's position. As they're walking, Carl just, wants to know what happened to Shane and everything, and Rick doesn't really want to tell him. When Rick turns back, he sees the herd of zombies coming towards him. There's got to be over 100 of them. So they hightail it back to the farm as fast as they can. In the farm, the whole group are worried. They want to know where Rick is at, what happened to Shane. And then so Glenn and Daryl come back and they tell them they found Randall and Shane killed him just like he wanted to because Shane was descending into madness. But they're shocked because, Randall was never bit, but he's a zombie. They don't know how that's possible because they don't know yet they're infected. And so then they start to see the herd and they turn the lights off. They're scared. And so Herschel tells them, we need to, y'all should get off the farmland and get to safety. And and we'll hold up here and everything. He doesn't want to lose his farm. That's his home. And so this is back when Daryl was very sarcastic and everything's all like, unless there's a tunnel you dig and I don't know about it. I don't know how we're going to get off this farm. And so they assume, okay, we'll just get the cars and we'll corral them and everything. So they start to do that. Only problem is there are far too many. So it's Andrea T-Dog, God, remember them? And it's on one car and it's Maggie and Glenn in the next. So they're driving around, they're shooting zombies, and I love it. Just shoot zombies, that's all I want to see. But they don't lure them in a smart way. Why? Because this is the earlier days of the apocalypse. And this is back when they was real scared and didn't know much. What they should have did was turn on the music and everything and honk the horn. This would have distracted the zombies and make them follow them, but they didn't know that back then. So Carl and Rick, they run into the barn house, and Rick makes them close the doors as he's putting gasoline everywhere. He's gonna set the whole place ablaze and hope it will lure the zombies there. And it works and everything. The zombies are burning, but they're not dying. Because of course, not only to kill them, you have to take out their brain. And so they're trapped now in a burning barn. And so Jimmy, he's in the the RV. Dale's RV. Dale's dead now. He's been dead for a couple episodes. And So Rick is able to get, and Carl are able to escape, but they're unable to get into the RV. Why? Jimmy gets ripped to shreds. And boy, I mean to shreds. You don't see zombies eat like this no more, because now over like 15, 20 years has passed and they're weak and tired and they move even slower than before. And so everything's going crazy. You have like the barn burning up, you have zombies burning, you have a dude being ripped to flesh, you have people driving in cars like maniacs and shooting. But then they realize they're gonna run out of ammo before any of this happens. So then T-Dog just starts running over zombies, which is what you do. And Maggie, she's terrified as she's like driving, and as Glenn is just shooting off rounds with like the rifle and stuff. Maggie is like literally pissed scared as the zombies hop on top of the car and like banging and everything. She lets out a terrifying scream and stuff. Now, as this is going on at the farmhouse, Lori is scared because she can't find Carl. She has no idea where he's at, and she doesn't want to leave and everything. This is back when Carol was like a coward, and Carol's all like, you know, he's gonna need his mother and you need to stay here and blah blah blah. And Lori's like frantic and just like hollering and screaming at people, while Herschel's like popping off rounds at zombies. It's an intense scene and everything. And so Maggie and Glenn, they realize, well, Glenn realizes there's no way they're gonna able to survive this, and they should just like leave. And Maggie's all like, we can't leave my sister and like, you know, father and everybody else. And he's like, look, we have no choice. We have to like go and everything. So they hightail it on out of there. And I was like, dude, you deserted your friends? Like, what the world, man? They looked out for his behind. When he was captive by the essays, they went looking for him and stuff. But yeah, he left them and everything. And so Rick, him and Carl, they're never really seen after this. And we just see like Herschel like shooting off rounds. And so, Carol and Lori, they hightailing on out of there. T-Dog and Andrea, they try to rescue Lori, Beth, and what's her name? Carol. Patricia, she gets taken and ripped apart. Now, Patricia, I always assumed she was the mother of Beth, but she's not. But she looks a lot like the actress. So she's gone. Patricia and Jimmy never really did much on the show. They was literally just there just to die. So nobody cares if they died. This is when Beth was like a super coward and she's screaming and hollering and crying. Lori's trying to save her. And then they get in the car with T-Dog as Andrea's trying to save Carol, who's like a huge coward. She saves Carol only for Carol to like run to, just run. She's just running. She ain't even running to a car. She's just running. And Andrea gets taken down by zombies, but she's still alive. Daryl, on the other hand, he's halfway off like the farm, and he's just ready to like say screw it and leave everybody until he hears Carol screaming. So then he goes back and he saves her and tells her like, come on, man, we ain't got all day. and and so Rick finally shows back up with Carl, and you know, he's shooting off around. He wants to know where Lori's at. He don't care about nobody else but his wife, and he's all like, she's gone, like she drove off with like T-Dog and stuff. And Rick is like, come on, we gotta go. And Herschel don't want to leave. Like, no, man, this is my farm. Like, I built this place. And Rick's all like, well, it's gone now. We need to go. And Herschel's still trying to pop off rounds as Rick is dragging him and stuff. And Herschel realizes he was wrong this entire time. Well, he been found that out a couple of episodes ago, but now he truly knows that. And so then we just see everybody driving off in different directions and stuff. And the scene with like Dale and Carol, that's cool on the motorcycle, man. They're like zigzagging around, avoiding like zombies on the dirt trail. It looks so boss as he's riding that motorcycle and stuff. And so we then get a scene with Rick what's his name, Herschel and Carl. They watch as the farm literally burns to the ground. And it's sad to see that because that was their home for so many years. And it was Rick and them home for like a couple of like weeks and stuff, you know. They were safe on the farm. But it's weird. Zombies never intruded, trespassed on like the farm. And so it was like this safe haven, but now it's gone and everything. And so, like, we see Andrea, she's running now, trying to avoid the zombies because everybody left her behind and she's trying to flag them down, but they don't see her and stuff. And so now 17 minutes has passed, and now we get to all the dicey, like, dialogue and stuff. We see Carl, his dad, and Herschel. It's now daytime. And they're back where they started in episode 1 of season 2, the car graveyard site where they wanted Sophia to wait for them and stuff, where they lost her. And they're all upset. Carl's pissed. He's like, we have to go back for mom. And he's all like, I don't know where she's at, man. And then so he's like, begging, like, and everything. He wants his mom back. But all this crap would never happen if Carl would stop just running off wherever he wants to and everything. He is the reason Dale is dead and stuff, And so, like, Herschel tells Rick, like, I should have listened to you in the beginning. I thought God had like a plan to resurrect the dead, just not like this. That's one of the best lines ever. And stuff. And so, like, he tells Rick, the only thing you can think about now is your son. You have to get him as far away from him and keep him alive. And he'll wait in one of the cars and he'll wait for like everybody else. And if a zombie gets him, then so be it and everything. But he needs to get his son safe because they don't even know where the mom is at. So as Rick is starting to tell him, like, look, man, like, I'm sorry, like, we have to leave your mom. We don't know where she's at and we have to go. Then all of a sudden we start hearing cars coming. And I'm just like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. Everybody now shows up. Well, at first, T-Dog didn't want to go there. T-Dog is kind of like, we need to go out to the East Coast, get on a boat, and just leave the land and everything. But Lori threatened, like, jump out of a car if he didn't stop and turn back around. So now we see all the cars coming. And it was kind of like, I wanted this to end off with everybody being separated and then meeting back up, similar to what they did in season 4. So that's why they did that in season 4, because it's kind of weird how everybody just all came together at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And so now we start to see a shift tone in Rick. Rick ain't taking it no more. Rick is like, he's been trying to do the best he can and he's always failing and everything. And he's new to this world just like everybody else with the zombies and stuff. So when they start to talk about what happened to Andrea, they're like, well, we saw her fall, but we don't know if she could still be alive. Daryl wants to go back and get her, and Rick's like, no, we ain't separating no more, we're staying together. And Daryl's just kind of like, well, how the heck are we gonna just leave her behind if she could be still alive? And he's all like, well, she fell behind, so that's on her. And Rick literally isn't taking it no more. He's all like, we are gonna stay together and find a place that's safe. But everybody's all like, what's safe? So they head back in the cars and they drive off. But then Rick realized something. He's running on fumes and everything. My lawnmower did that one time. I was out of gas and it was just riding on fumes until I stopped it, tried to restart it, and it would not crank back up. I was pissed because I was almost done. And so everybody's out the car. Everybody is scared. They're like, we can't just stay here. There could be another herd coming and everything. He's all like, look, we can't get no gas. Nightfall's about to fall. But Glenn wants to go get some gas, but he's literally laying down the law. He's like, ain't nobody gonna leave. He is now changing, some things for the best, some things for the worst, as as the seasons progress in the series. And so he's all like, we're gonna like camp out here and all this other crap. But some people are defiant and don't want to do that. But Rick is not having it. So then him and Lori decide to walk off and talk. And he tells her about Shane because she wants to know what happened. And he straight up tell her he killed them. And when he tells her that, she's holding on behind him, but then she has a shocked look in her face. She is beside herself. He's all like, he lured me out into the woods and he tried to kill me. And so I killed him. And he's all like, I was tired. I was just tired of him. I was tired of him dogging me and everything, trying to take you from me, trying to take Carl away from me. And so he just did it. And then when he told her Carl had to put him down, she loses it. She is disgusted by him and does not want him to touch her. And it's like, what the world, woman? This is why people hate her character so much. Like, she's pissed about her lover, Shane. Because, see, like in the comics and in the show, when Rick was shot and in the hospital, she had an affair. Now, in the comics, it was 6 months. But in the show, it was like 6 weeks. Or a little bit shorter than that. And so when Rick came back, she went to Rick and everything. Shane even tried to assault her in season 1 finale, but for some reason she's crazy about him. Even after she knows she's pregnant and told Rick Shane's dangerous and he thinks I'm his, and that would really piss Rick off. But she's like grieving over Shane more over her husband, and Rick just kind of looks at her kind of like WTF. So, and that was one of the best stares that Andrew Lincoln gave and stuff. I still can't believe the man never won an award for this show. So there at night, they're camping out, T-Dog's on watch, and they hear a noise that scares Maggie to the point where she's like, we need to get up and leave. Like there could be like a herd coming. And Rick's all like, everybody sitting there butt down, we ain't nobody leaving. And so Carol is now, and people are starting to question him. Maggie is starting to question if they should leave. And her father tells her, now where are we gonna go? Like there's no place safe. We need to listen to Rick like we should have beginning. But Maggie wants to leave. Carol wants to hightail it with Daryl on out of there. And she's all like, she's looking for a leader that's a man of honor. And so like Daryl tells her, you know, like Rick is a man of honor and stuff. And so Rick can overhear all this like chatter, and Rick is not like liking it and everything. And so Rick, I'm not joking, that man straight up lays down the law. He tells them he killed Shane. He said he was tired of him dogging him. He was tired how Shane kept trying to divide them and everything. And so he put him down. And so they asked him straight up, you know, actually they asked him, oh, I forgot. They asked him back at the graveyard, the car graveyard, like, how did Randall turn and everything? And that's when Rick told them the truth of season 1 finale. They're all infected. Like, whatever this zombie virus is, each and every one of them has it. This was the most jaw-dropping shocker I could ever hear on the show, because I didn't know this, because I never read the comic. Everybody's expression was just kind of like, oh my God, like it's a terrifying thing, because you see these people rising from the dead and turning into zombies, and you know technically you're a zombie, and if you die you turn into a zombie. Mind freaking blowing. They're never able to reduplicate that in the spin-offs. They've like tried in different ways, but it just doesn't have that same impact and everything. And they're pissed at him for not telling him the truth. And he's all like, well, he didn't believe it until now because he knew Jenna was crazy and stuff. So at the campsite, back to that part, that's when they're pissed. They're all like, you know, you kept the information from us. You kept the whole Shane thing from us. You're bossing us around. And he tells them straight up, like, you know, this is it. Like, you know, he's done his best. Like, he never wanted none of this crap. He never wanted to be leader. And he's doing the best he can. He has kept them alive. And if they don't like it, he literally tells them they can leave right here, right now, and send him a postcard later. But he's all like, but if you stay, it's my way or the highway. And he's all like, we just gotta find a place, we gotta secure it, we gotta hunker down, and we gotta ride this thing out. And of course, winter time is coming. Now, as you all know, from season 2 to season 3, winter has now passed. I wanted to see winter so bad, but we got to see it in season 10. And so, like, or season 9, one of those two. Probably 10. And so, like, as like, you know, because in the comics winter was like one of the hardest times for them and stuff. And so, as it's panning out, we see the prison. Now, I didn't know anything about the prison. I didn't know what that was or nothing like that, or the significance of it in season 3. And of course, that's where they go to live in season 3, and they just stumble upon it and stuff like that, or Daryl does exactly. And so, yeah, this was a really good finale, way better than the season 1 finale. I do like season 1 finale, but it's a lot of talking, but we get to learn a little stuff. And but you know, this was truly the best finale of all finales in The Walking Dead, except for that cliffhanger in season 4. That was just insane. And you know, this is still my all-time favorite episode because it's doing what you're supposed to do: kill zombies and everything, and be scared of them. And you know, and then so with Andrea, she's running out of bullets. She's just like trying her best. I really like how her character evolved in season 2. She became such a cool character and everything. But she's tired, she's exhausted, she's out of ammunition. She falls to the ground, zombies are coming, and she gets saved by a strange, mysterious black woman in a cloak. We don't see her face, but she has a katana. It's Michonne, played by a completely different actress. And the 2 zombies she has on chains, they are missing their mouthpieces, they're missing their arms, and they're just on chains and they're shirtless. Those are played by 2 different actors as well. They all get recast in like the 3rd season. Now, what's different about Michonne, we never see her face, just her lips. And it's a play by a different actress, but we don't know who, and she's in a completely different cloak. Not only that, but she has a different katana. In season 2 finale, she has a black handle. In season 3 and onward, she has a white handle. And the hilt is completely different. And so that was always a weird like shift and change, why they changed her sword like that. And maybe they couldn't find the white one or something like that, you know, but I didn't know who Michonne was until she showed up, and my God, she is a warrior. That wasn't that spooky. Alright, well, I shall talk to y'all later. Bye.